Well, good day, everyone, and welcome to the SuperTalk. Excited to be here talking about a very important topic. I know that before we get started, I did want to introduce Mark May, who is the producer of the SuperTalk and also does a good job in the area of marketing and communications as our director. And Mark will introduce our topic and our special guest. So, Mark.
All right. Good to see you, Dr. Gonzalez. And our guest today is Alexandra Molina. For the last 10 years, she has been our director for child nutrition, and she now takes on the dual role as executive director of child nutrition and purchasing for McAllen ISD. And she's here to talk about meal participation, always a very important topic. And just to give you a little insight out there, the McAllen ISD's child nutrition department produces approximately 39,000 meals a day. Every child gets breakfast and lunch, and in certain situations, they even get dinner as well. 39,000 meals a day comes out to almost 7 million meals per year that they're producing constantly. So it's a magnificent job they do. And during COVID, remember, our schools were closed, and so Miss Molina was the one who constructed a formula and able to continue to feed kids curbside, so families could be saved, staff could be saved, and so she was a font of great ideas at that time, and she's our guest today.
Well, Alex, thank you for being here. I know that Miss Molina is the key player on our team with regard to all that she does for our district, but when you look at McAllen ISD as being a high-performance school district, and you think of all the accolades, you think of all the wonderful things that are going on, you think of the fact that we're an A-rated school district, but a lot of times we lose sight of the disparities that people are dealing with regard to hunger. You start to do research around hunger, and you realize that over 4 million people in Texas are battling hunger, and 1.3 million of those are children. You look at 20% of students dealing with hunger issues. That's 1 in 5 students in the state of Texas, and we know that. And we've all been hungry before, but we know where our next meal is going to come from. So imagine being in a situation where you don't. And that's what some of our families are dealing with, and that's what makes our food service department so special, and that's what makes Miss Molina and her team so special, is that she's really driving a machine and an organization and really making sure that children are in a position to learn by having their bellies full so that they can think, and that's what's so special. So, Alex, a couple of questions just for the community. What is meal participation, and why is it important to us?
So what's really important to us is you mentioned the statistics in Texas, but as we know, in Hidalgo County, those statistics actually become 1 in 3. And so to us, it's really important. You know, we talk about City of McAllen and being the most obese city, but a lot of that's coming from malnutrition. We know that less nutrient-dense foods are cheaper. And so we want to make sure that while our students are at school, that we provide them the fuel that they need to learn. And that's why our breakfast, our lunch, and then what we've learned is that a lot of our kids stay for after-school activities, whether that's tutoring, athletics, UIL, and so making sure that they also have that supper meal to make sure that when they get home, they have had their 3 meals at school, and that helps our parents, and it helps our students continue to learn, even in the summer, even when we're out of school, just continuing the importance of meals. And so what we want to do is normalize our cafeterias and normalize that all students participate in our meals program. So students don't feel separated. They know that all students are going through the line.
And that's important. So to all the moms and dads and all the students out there, know that our food service department is doing the very best that we can to provide quality services for your children. But take advantage. I know that moms and dads are busy. Regardless of your circumstances, maybe you don't have time to pack a lunch, just know that you can count on McAllen ISD to feed your children quality meals, whether it's breakfast or lunch or supper or snacks. And I think that a big part of being successful is making sure that all systems are clicking, especially around food service and especially around a situation where we know that if you don't have fuel in your system, if you don't have food, then you can't perform at your full potential. So I do want to thank you, Alex, for everything that you're doing, your entire team, as we move forward to make sure that in our district that the children are not hungry. And I love the fact that you talked about normalizing it and making it cool to get cafeteria, to get in the line, to get the food. It's nutritious, it's balanced, it's a well thought out menu. So as a dad, I know that we take advantage of it. My wife and I take advantage of our 3 children in the district, but having the meals, and it's beneficial to us. So tell us, how do the dinners and summer feeding help students and the community?
So just real quick, I know you mentioned that your kids participate, and a lot of times we do get some pushback, like, why are you doing pizza? Why are you offering chicken nuggets? What's important for parents to know is that these aren't the meals that you would get at a restaurant. We're introducing whole grains to our students. We don't use frying, but also we want to make sure that our kids get exposed to all different kinds of vegetables, all different kinds of fruit, that again, on a balanced budget, become expensive. And so our parents have seen the increased costs at HEB. And so we want to make sure that our kids continue to receive those nutrient-dense meals all year long, regardless of what's happening in the market around us. And so that includes our summer feeding program, that includes our dinner program. So we're excited now that we've been able to put COVID basically behind us to start our Meals on Wheels programs again, to be able to offer in our schools and in our community programs, both lunch and supper. If we have students in the community, Boys and Girls Club, our community centers are offering McAllen ISD meals. So regardless of where children go to school in the city of McAllen, they're receiving McAllen ISD meals. And that's important to us because we really want to make sure that all children have access to high quality meals. But what we will be doing this year is partnering with our transportation department again. We're going to be running 6 stops per bus that's going to be offering lunch or dinner, depending on the circumstances. But some of them are going to include our apartment complexes where transportation is an issue. We're going to be at our municipal pools where we know that kids are swimming and we want to engage them there. But we're excited to be able to offer that program again. What is different this year is that kids will have to eat together. But again, we think that's a win. We want kids to socialize in the summer. We want kids to be reading on our buses. If we expect kids to continue the learning process, we expect kids to continue reading and be active, we want to make sure, again, that they have the feel that we need. So not only in our schools will we be offering these programs, but also within our communities. And just want to make sure that all of our community knows that you don't have to be a Boys and Girls Club member or be participating in their programs to eat breakfast and lunch there. Same with our community centers, same with our schools, and on our bus routes. So we've gone back to an extended model for summer. We're excited about that and definitely want to welcome our community. And the same thing with dinner. So with our dinner program, it is open to our community, and we want to make sure that any kid that is having enrichment activities, participating in any kind of enrichment activity, participates in our dinner program. Our dinner program just allows for a healthy snack after school to just keep those energy levels up.
And that's awesome. For moms and dads out there, just know that during the school year, we take great pride in making sure that all of our students are fed. But in the summer, obviously, it gets more challenging because they're not in our schools. We don't have a captive audience. So that's where we're going to have to work as a team to make sure that you get your children to the sites that Ms. Molina just mentioned. But we want to make sure that our kids reach their full potential, not only academically, but socially and emotionally and physically. And a big part of being physically fit is nutrition. And the way to live a long, prosperous life is to take care of yourselves physically, emotionally, spiritually, and all the things that go into being a good person. But the sooner that we can create good habits around nutrition, the sooner that we can create habits around physical fitness, around emotional fitness, about with regard to also being a lifelong learner and with regard to academics, then the higher the probability of success. And that's what we want. So our feeding program is a big part of that. I'm very proud of all that our food service department does and has done, the way we powered through the pandemic with them and the way we continue to prosper. But at the end of the day, it's about synergy, and it's about getting the word out, and it's about taking advantage of the programs that we have. And that's what today's SuperTalk was all about. It's about making sure that our community understands and where we are with regard to nutrition, what the game plan is going into the summer, and making sure that we don't lose any momentum with regard to our students being the best they can possibly be. And finally, Alex, my last question for you, what does McAllen ISD do to increase access to meals and support Texas agriculture?
So it's important for our students to know where their food comes from. So 1 is feeding them, 2 is them understanding how is their food grown, why is it essential, the different food groups for them. And so we've really partnered with Department of Defense, Texas Agriculture to bring in more Texas grown products into our schools. So a lot of our students may not know our cucumbers come from right down the street in Mission. All of our grapefruit right now and our oranges that they see in their cafeterias is coming from the Rio Grande Valley. And so as we see more commercialization here in Hidalgo County, it's really important for our students to know where their products are coming from and the nutrient value of them. And so we really have a very good synergistic relationship with our dairy farmers, our meat producers, to make sure we're supporting Texas agriculture and that we're letting students know where it's coming from so that they can be lifelong learners. And what we've learned is that students help educate their parents. And so we'll see a lot of that, of our students saying, Mom and Dad, we eat this at school. Can we try it, as they're grocery shopping? And what a lot of people don't know is we have a food desert here in McAllen, and we service a lot of those students. So from 2nd Street to Ware Road, there is no supermarket for our families to go to south of the expressway. And so it's really, really important to us that our students know what these fresh fruits and vegetables do, where they can access these products, and so that they can continue to have these healthy, nutritious meals, not only in school, but also educate their parents on the importance of that.
And that's important. So once again, all the moms and dads, focus on nutrition, focus on making sure that your kids are eating well-balanced diets. And it takes a little bit of work and planning, but do your very best to have your kids not eat as much candy, not eat as much sugars and soda pops and things of that sort, to get them to drink more water, things that we know we should be doing. But I think that that's really what it's going to take to make a difference. And I did want to let you know that McAllen ISD is doing our part to make sure that our students are eating nutritious meals. But again, it's a collective effort. But the great thing for us in McAllen ISD is we have great partners. City of McAllen does a wonderful job for us. The Boys and Girls Club of McAllen, the McAllen Economic Development Corporation, the Chamber, all of our city leaders, our board of trustees, just so many caring people that are all on the same page to make sure that we're not only providing our students with a world-class education, but it's balanced around emotional fitness and physical fitness and spiritual fitness and all the things that it takes to be a good person. So hope that you learned something today, and have a blessed day.